America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Look, I'm going to do something different this Friday. I'm not going to lose my shit. I'm really, really angry. I'm outraged. I'm righteously angry. I am really, really pissed off at what's going on right now, but I'm not going to get all worked up, and I'm not going to shout and rant. My tone is going to belie how I feel. Let's start here and welcome everybody listening. Thank you. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Let's just start right with where we are. So as bodies, as dead bodies were being pulled from the water, the President of the United States began to cast blame. A commercial aircraft collides with a military helicopter. 67 souls are dead. As those dead bodies are being pulled from the water, that monster in the White House, and I'm done calling him the president, that monster in the White House begins casting blame. And he begins blaming DEI. He begins blaming Black people and brown people and women and people with disabilities for the crash. As dead bodies are being pulled from the river, as families are mourning, as a nation is still in shock. I'm just setting the table for you guys, the context, right? A nation in shock. It's our first commercial aircraft accident crash since 2009. Nation in shock, families mourning, losing their loved ones. Their loved ones are being pulled from the river, and that monster in the White House starts to blame people. And he starts to blame a certain kind of people. Brown people, Black people, women, transgender Americans, people with disabilities. And as this is going on, as he does this, Democrats and people who oppose Trump, they go on TV, they go on social media, and they say, oh my God, it's inaccurate what the president is saying. It's inappropriate what the president is saying. There's no evidence that DEI had anything to do with this. There's no evidence. It's inaccurate. It's inappropriate. There's no evidence, blah, 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 blah. On and on go the Democrats responding to him, responding to that monster in the White House. And I'm listening to this the last couple of days. I'm listening to the way Democrats and any critic of Trump's is responding to him. And I'm thinking, huh? Inaccurate? You're gonna criticize Trump and say what he's saying is inaccurate? That's all you got, Democrats? You're gonna say it's inappropriate what Trump is saying? That's the best you've got? Oh, there's no evidence? Again, I've listened to so many Democrats who've stood up and said, there's no evidence that DEI had anything to do with this. Huh? Is that all you've got? Do you understand? Does everybody understand? Stop the world right now. Everybody, stop the world. Everybody in the world, around the world, listen to me right now. Does everybody clearly know what that monster in the White House has been saying since 67 souls perished? Do you understand? Cut through all the bullshit. Cut through all the DEI bullshit. By the way, let's quit talking about DEI. That's not the target. Cut through all the noise, cut through all the distractions, all the niceties, all the everything. Do you understand what the monster in the White House has been saying? Here it is. Donald Trump has been saying, again, as bodies are being pulled from the Potomac, Donald Trump has been saying that Black people and brown people and women and transgender men and women and people with disabilities, they killed those 67 people. That's what Trump's been saying. Say it. Cut to the chase. Donald Trump said Black people and brown people killed those 67 people on that aircraft and that helicopter. That's what he's saying. He's blaming Black people. He's blaming brown people. He's blaming women. He's blaming transgender Americans. My God, Donald Trump is saying that people with disabilities killed those 67 people. Cut to the chase. Quit with this DEI bullshit. Trump's blaming Black and brown people for those deaths. He's blaming women for those deaths. He's saying that unqualified Black and brown people, unqualified women, unqualified with people with disabilities, they killed those 67 people. They're responsible for that crash. That's what he's saying. And I'm sorry, Democrats, inaccurate doesn't cut it. Oh, that's inappropriate. That doesn't fucking cut it. There's no evidence. That doesn't cut it. The President of the United States said that Black people killed those 67 victims of the crash. That's what he said. He said that brown people killed them. He said that women killed them. He said that transgender Americans killed them. By the way, so when you cut to the core of what that monster in the White House said, right? You don't respond with inaccurate and inappropriate. You do not respond, Democrats, like a politician. I don't want you to sound like a politician responding to that monster. Do you understand what he said? My God, respond like a human being. Respond like a human being to what he said. A human being who's outraged. What Trump said is disgusting. It's ugly. It's divisive. It's racist. It's bigoted. It's pathetic. It's monstrous. It's racist. It's bigoted. Democrats and everybody else, he's a monster, and it doesn't do enough to respond to his monstrous stuff, to respond like a politician. Well, excuse me. I wish the president wouldn't speak that way. It's just inappropriate. And it's just really not accurate. Blah, 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 blah. Don't be a fucking politician. Respond like a human being. Respond like a human being with righteous anger. How fucking dare that guy say that? How dare that guy say right now? How dare that guy blame brown and Black people for killing those 67 people on that airplane and that helicopter? That is ugly. That is un-American. It's not fitting of the office he holds. Those are the words of a bigot and a monster. My kingdom for a Democrat who would respond like that. Who would respond like just an average person would respond. Huh? Excuse me? There was a horrible crash, mid-air collision. 67 people died. We're pulling those bodies from the river, and Trump is starting to blame people already, huh? He's like politicizing it already, huh? And wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. He's saying that brown and black people and women and people with disabilities, they're responsible for those deaths. What the fuck is that? That's horrible. What an ugly, bigoted thing to say. That's how any normal human being would respond. And Democrats, I know you've really never learned this. All politicians who are in opposition to Trump, he's a monster. You can't treat him like a normal human being. You can't say inappropriate and inaccurate. You can't say shit like that. That's political speak. You need to attack him. What he has said in the last 48 hours is some of the most bigoted, un-American, racist, cruel, ugly bullshit. In fact, it is the most that an American president has ever said. And I know it's difficult, right? Because you want to be politicians and sound like politicians, and you still don't realize that this guy ain't normal, that this guy is unprecedented, that he is an ugly and a divisive human being. He's humanly incapable, right, of empathy. You've got to treat him thus. Stop responding to Trump's ugliness. And by the way, MAGA, I'm not going to let you get away with that, MAGA. No, we're done. We're done saying he's blaming DEI. What Trump is saying is because unqualified, you know what caused that crash? Trump is saying we had unqualified brown and black people doing their jobs. That's what Trump's saying. When he attacks DEI, that's what he's saying. He's saying that we went out of our way to make brown and black people air traffic controllers, and they weren't qualified. And because they weren't qualified, 67 people died 2 nights ago. That's what he's saying. We made such an when you hear, sorry, MAGA, go away with that bullshit. When you hear Trump or any of Trump's people or any Republican blame DEI for this crash, what they are saying is this: the government decided, because they so wanted to have a diverse workforce, they so wanted to have diversity among air traffic controllers, that they, under Biden and Obama, they hired unqualified brown and black people to be air traffic controllers. They hired unqualified women. Oh, they hired unqualified transgender Americans, and they hired unqualified people with disabilities. And because of that, because these brown and black people and these women and these transgenders were unqualified, they weren't up to the job, they killed those people. Those two aircraft collided because we hired black people who weren't qualified. That's exactly what Trump is saying. That's exactly what every MAGA Republican is saying. So done with that, MAGA. Forget DEI. You criticize DEI, you know what you're doing? You're saying black people can't do the job, brown people can't do the job, women can't do the job. You're saying that transgender Americans are not capable of being air traffic controllers. That's what you're saying. And by the way, Democrats, that's what Trump said. And you're going to call that inaccurate? That's the best you can muster? Donald Trump just said that transgender Americans should not be air traffic controllers, and the best you can say, Democrats, is, oh, that's inappropriate. Now, I get it, because I don't sound like a politician, right? Maybe that's why I was a lousy politician. I get it. You want to focus on the fact that Trump's lying. And he is, and MAGA, everybody listen to me. I'll just state the facts. When Trump says that we made too much of an effort to hire black, brown, women, transgender, air traffic controllers, and all the rest, It's factually wrong. It's a lie. I'll remind everybody that the United States of America, our air traffic control system, our air traffic controllers are the world's gold standard. We have the best air traffic control system in the world. We have the best and the most qualified air traffic controllers in the world. They are the world's gold standard. Again, I want to remind everybody this is the first commercial airline crash in America since 2009. America has the safest airspace in the world. By the way, Trump's new Secretary of Transportation said that yesterday. We have the safest airspace in the world. It's been that way for years. So you're blaming DEI for what? For what? And then Trump's lying about what it takes to be an air traffic controller. Race and gender are never taken into consideration. To be an air traffic controller, again, you go through rigorous training. There are rigorous standards. This is one of the world's most stressful jobs. And we have a shortage of air traffic controllers. We did under Obama, we did under Trump, we did under Biden. So we're making every effort, and we did under those three administrations, to recruit more air traffic controllers, to recruit more, to cast a wider net, to cast a more diverse net. But all these black air traffic controllers, all these brown air traffic controllers, all these female air traffic controllers, all these air traffic controllers with disabilities, get it, gang. They all have to meet the same rigorous standards, period, and go through the same rigorous training, period. That's why we have the gold standard in this world for air traffic controllers. That's why air traffic control systems around the world come to us to replicate what we do. But again, I could go on. Those are the facts. That's not the point, though. That's at one level. What Trump is saying is dishonest. He's lying. He's lying when he blames DEI and when he blames brown and black air traffic controllers. Donald Trump is lying. But Democrats and everybody else, if you just respond to him with, sir, that's not accurate. There's no evidence for that. You're lying. That's at one level. That's at one level. And politicians can do that pretty well. But to respond to Trump, you've got to take it to that higher level. You can't just say, Mr. President, every air traffic controller has to go through the same rigorous mental and psychological testing and training testing. They all got to go through it, no matter what your race, creed, or gender is. True. And Trump lies about that. Trump says that to hire more brown and black air traffic controllers, we've lowered the standards. That's bullshit. That's a lie. You can go at him at that level. But if you want to connect to the American people, Democrats, you got to go at him like you're a human being. You're not just some political robot. You're a human being who is fucking pissed off that the president of the United States, less than 16 hours after the crash, as bodies were still being pulled from the Potomac, the president of the United States came out then and blamed brown and black people and women and transgender Americans. You don't respond to that with your head. You don't respond to that with statistics and data. I guess that's what I'm saying, right? When Trump says something that is so ugly and so bigoted and so monstrous and so racist, you don't respond with data. You don't respond with statistics. Man, you respond with fucking outrage. You respond with righteous anger. You, sir, are a horrible human being. I am ashamed that this country reelected you. How dare you spew that racist bullshit when bodies are being pulled from the river? And by the way, Democrats, you'll have another opportunity, because the monster in the White House, guaranteed, the monster in the White House tomorrow will say another monstrous thing, will say another inhuman thing, will say another racist and bigoted and cruel thing. He's going to do it and say this stuff every single day. Man, it's a smorgasbord, baby, of opportunity for you Democrats to win and to defeat. I mean, just at a political level, I'll talk to you as a politician, Democrats. If you want to beat him, if you want to defeat him, who he is and what he is. And by the way, MAGA, Donald Trump is the absolute worst of us. He is a bigot. He is a racist. He's inhumane. He's incapable of human empathy. He's a monster. To defeat him politically, Democrats, statistics and reason and data, not going to cut it. You will defeat him with empathy and with righteous anger. And you'll have an opportunity every single day to do that. So Democrats, rip off those sport coats, yank off your fucking ties, ruffle your blouses and whatever you're wearing, man, and talk to the American people like you are a human being with real emotion and real outrage and real righteous anger. Second point, and this is important. What Trump has been saying about this crash, right? It's like I know many of you are still even surprised. Oh my God, he went there? We're yanking bodies from the river. We're pulling them up, and he's blaming DEI. He's blaming unqualified Black people for killing those victims. He went there? Oh my God, I know there's a part of you that is still kind of amazed and shocked and stunned at how low he'll go. Well, newsflash, there ain't no bottom, and there's no too low to what he'll say, because, and this is the important salient point, he believes he's untouchable. He believes he can get away with it. What he said was an ugly, bigoted, racist thing. As far as he's concerned, so what? He can say that because he knows he'll get away with it. No one will hold him account. His supporters will not hold him account. He can say the most vile, most bigoted, most racist things, and his supporters are going to get down on their knees and say, give me another. No, he believes he's a king. He believes he's untouchable. And by the way, America, who can blame Trump for that? Who can blame Donald Trump for thinking he's untouchable? Who can blame him for thinking He'll never, ever, ever be held account for anything he says. My God. He's been this way he came on the public scene in 2015. He's been this way for almost 10 years. And he's never been held to account. He got elected president. He got reelected. Listen to everything he just said in this last campaign. He spewed the most dishonest, ugliest, cruel, bigoted, racist stuff any candidate for president had ever spewed. And he won. So if I'm Trump, I'd think I'm untouchable. I can look the American people in the eye and be an out and out racist, and it ain't going to hurt me politically. He believes he's untouchable. He believes he will never be held to account. He believes he's a king. He believes he's a king. And until proven otherwise, he'll keep doing it. So to recap, yes, he's lying. Everything Trump is saying, everything Donald Trump has been saying since that crash has been a lie. More importantly, it's monstrous what he's saying. It's racist and bigoted and monstrous. Finally, a president shouldn't be blaming anyone right now. A leader shouldn't be blaming anyone right now. There's a horrible plane crash, a helicopter, and a commercial aircraft. 67 people died, including 3 of our soldiers. Bodies are being pulled from the river. No president at that moment should cast blame. We don't know anything yet. No president at that moment should cast blame. Any president at that moment should say what Barack Obama said yesterday. Thoughts and prayers for the victims, thanks to the first responders. That's it. A normal human American president would try to bring the country together, offer thoughts and prayers, thank all our first responders, and say, this is just horrible. It's what happened. We're going to investigate. That's what a leader would do. That's what a normal president would do. Someone with normal human characteristics and traits. Trump doesn't have them. He's a monster. He's not a human. He's a monster. But like Pete Buttigieg and others yesterday, and then I'll wrap this, Keith. Pete Buttigieg and others yesterday implored, pleaded with Trump, please, sir, lead. Be a leader. Stop. If after 8 to 9 or 9 years, you still think this monster is capable of being a leader, a uniter, a leader, man, you respectfully, you need to do some soul searching. You need your head examined. Donald Trump is humanly incapable of leading. But again, don't blame him. We've told him he's untouchable. My God, folks, right? This Friday, right? For some years ago, he tried to overthrow an American election, and he didn't pay a price for that. He didn't pay a price for that. He lost an election in 2020, and he gave the American people his middle finger, and he said, I'm not going to accept the result. I'm not going to concede. The first and only candidate for president in American history, whoever did that, and he didn't pay a price for that. My God, of course he thinks he's untouchable. He committed crimes trying to overthrow that election. He never paid a price for that. He was rewarded. He's back in the White House. Of course, he thinks he's untouchable. 2 final quickies this Friday. There you see it above my, there it is. Boom. No kings, no kings, no kings. Trump believes he's a king, so he's going to say whatever he wants. There it is. Go to that website right there. Keep it up, Keith. Go to that website, oneflaginitiative.org. Oneflaginitiative.org, all one word. I've changed all of my social media pictures, profile pics, I think that's what you call them, to the no kings, the hashtag no kings. We don't have kings in America, right? If you agree with me that we don't have kings in America, go to oneflaginitiative.org and it'll show you how to change your profile pics. Join me. Look, I hear all the time, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do, Joe, to resist and oppose what he is? How about we all rally initially around a simple, basic truth? We don't have kings in America. Start with publicly identifying with that truth. Join me. Go to oneflaginitiative.org, change your profile pictures as well, and spread that graphic, spread that meme. Hashtag no kings in America. Final thing this Friday, I launched a new Substack a week or so ago. If you like what I say here, and you like some of the things I say on social media, twice a week on my Substack, I let it rip in written form. And I talk about stuff that's going on that most people aren't talking about. Look, you know my history. I've had a very weird, unique political journey. I was the divisive Tea Party political asshole. I voted for Trump in 2016. I then turned against Trump publicly in 2018 and became a very high-profile never Trumper. I actually tried to primary him in 2020. It's been a weird journey, but that's given me a very weird perspective, an interesting perspective that I think can help all of us. I spell it out twice a week on my new Substack. Check it out. It's Social Contract with Joe Walsh. That's my Substack page, Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Give it a look, check it out. And if you're sufficiently interested in what I'm putting out twice a week, subscribe. It would be great and it would help. No kings in America. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with